Hey, Max here, and I got a hot topic to talk to you Star Wars fans, Star Wars Explained fans, Geeks and Gamers fans, and to a lesser extent, Star Wars Theory fans. Now, I don't follow Star Wars Theory. I don't know how much that played an effect to this series, and honestly, with this one, it's a tough one because it's so hot, it may land me in hot water. But then I also started doing things that I can't stand in YouTube videos. I was second guessing myself and saying, how real do I want to get with this series? So, without further ado, this is the 100% real version of the video because that's what I think people want to know. So, I totally was planning to do a final episode of the last week in Clickbait. So that's just to give you a beginning to this video. So no matter what, I was going to do that. I should give the warning right away. Warning! This video contains rumors, speculation, strong opinions, and a Mad Max. Because I'm mad about how things went down recently. And I am having this as the final episode of last week in Clickbait. The creator of the series doesn't want to make it, so I'm taking it over and ending it. Do you like my clickbait for this one? I worked hard on it. I thought about what would make a great clickbait thumbnail for the last episode. The little holdover maneuver, because this is how I view the fandom right now, and Last Jedi did it to it. No matter what side of the fence you're on this argument, this is the fandom right now. This is Star Wars, divided right down the middle. And I also decided to include multiple topics into one, because like Jeremy said from Geeks and Gamers on my vid, thanks for keeping it real. And I will, always. And by the way, this video is never coming down. So, back to keeping it real. It's about to get really real for you guys. And here's another hot topic you probably thought I would never cover. And it's about bandwagon backlash channels. And guess what? I'm one of them, and proud of it. Jeremy shared his story a few videos ago about what he's become and how. So if you want story time at the end, stick with me, and I'll include the story time at the very end of this video. But first things first. I was called out slightly before, and casually before, by world-class bullshitters. And you know what? I wholeheartedly admit it. I will go with any band and any wagon that calls out garbage. And I use terminology that they do too, because I agree. But my issue here now is I still view Jeremy as a friend. Maybe he won't of me after this video. But do you ever have that friend that joins a bandwagon and acts like he is steering it the whole time? And that's how I kind of view him and his channel. I like him, I like what he's saying, but he's so bombastic and act like he was cutting down, and these are his words in his videos, cutting down SJWs, dropping truth bombs, and now he's kind of acting like one. Why, you ask? Because SJWs, the annoying kind, attach themselves to a movement, are loudest, and with their privilege, benefit from it, including monetarily, and then when things get tough, he bowed down to a show like Star Wars Explained. Star Wars Explained, his video is still up. And are you okay with this? Because I'm not. And what if he goes after someone else's channel? Are you suddenly okay with it because it's not yours anymore? And the biggest way I feel like you're acting like an SJW, an annoying one, is deciding what's best for fandom and for other people while treating your audience like they're dummies, and censorship. SJWs decide what is best for the general public and push their own agenda. Never should have taken the vid down. You see, Alex and pro Star Wars channels all think the backlash is racist and male chauvinist. And you're feeding into that by removing your video. And you even told your videos to behave like they are an angry mob of racists. I don't want to be treated like that. I think you shouldn't censor anything that happened and show what really happened, because his part of this is still up. And I want to treat all you audience with respect and let you decide to behave. We're all adults here. So I also think in your talks with Alex and other channels, you kind of conceded. Like we are a bunch of angry mobs as viewers. Put your viewers ahead of this delusional fanboy. And he owned you. Because you took your video down, it still does not shine a good light on your channel. And you decided above everyone else what's best for your community. We were along for the ride. So this is where I have a big problem. I don't think anyone else should. I think you keep it as it is. Keep the conversation going. And we'll all decide. I do want us to come together. But this kind of series is lame. I do speculate responsibly. Because I just give honest opinions and we talk it out. The best way to improve things in the future is to be real and talk about it. I haven't seen this much damage control since Ryan Johnson started fansplaining on Twitter. And that's 100% honest opinion. So when he says it's best for the community, is it? Or is it best for them? Because they threw stuff out there on the internet. The last few vids on both channels. And now they're above it all. I don't outright make vids against people unless they get on their high horse and start spewing garbage as much as The Last Jedi. In my opinion, the Clickbait explained was completely wrong and disingenuous. And now you seem that way too. Now, if you're a fan of Jeremy, search your feelings. You know it to be true. And I don't want Star Wars fans to be at each other's throats either. I would rather everyone band together, work together, join a rebellion, and put a stop to this garbage. But keeping it real means keeping it honest each and every time. And keeping it real means when it's the most difficult to keep it real. When it puts you at risk. And this, honestly, this video puts me at risk, but I'm going to leave it up. Crash or burn. That's how I'm going to handle this. And I plan on doing it every time. You see, when I had my SJW awakening moment, which I will share in story time at the end of the video, what I realized is SJWs are annoying. And it's because they're not really for social justice. And that's where the general public doesn't get it. They exploit movements and attach themselves and are opportunists. And in my opinion, the most annoying SJWs are the ones of privilege, all talking on their iPhones and Facebook heroes, sharing stories they are so far removed from. They don't know hardships. You want true social justice? Quit forcing into things there's not an issue in. And be a real warrior for social justice and go work for a charity or try to make the world a better place. Or here's a thought. Stop with your loud mouth on your phone and complain about Apple making phones in labor factories in China where people kill themselves. You want to talk about real social justice? Put everything into perspective. We're talking about entertainment. Don't force it. And where it doesn't need to belong. Making a bigger issue out than it is, that's what's annoying. You see, SJW explained, Star Wars Explained, started something. They were wrong. He wants it on the views that critical views of Star Wars are getting, while still maintaining his pro-Disney fanboy crew and image. He wants it all. And I guarantee you, he and his buddies complaining with all his Disney Star Wars buddies, they are getting the views, their numbers are down, and that's where it started. I've watched YouTube for a long time, and I know the pet peeve of top YouTubers is when someone new breaks out and gets better views than them with a fraction of the subs. And that's where clickbait comes from. YouTube is clickbait. Internet is clickbait. And this is the final episode of Last Week in Clickbait. And you know why they are getting better views? They are staying relevant. That's why I don't push for subs. I want to push for content. And at Jeremy's request, I will be keeping it real always and every time, even when it benefits me not to. So this baloney series that was a lame attempt to jumpstart his own views, I am shutting it down. And I know Alex will never start it again because he doesn't want to. Remember, that's his own words. He doesn't want to do it. So I'm going to bring it home and end it. So, Alex, I dare you to make another episode. Here's a hint. It's a trap. But while I have your attention, the shirts are still available on TeePublic for a very short period of time. So get them while they're hot. And now I'm going to include the story time. Oh, and by the way, I am subbed to both Geeks and Gamers and World Class Bullshitters. And plan to stay that way. I just think someone needs a reality check on his own with his recent vids. But here's my awakening to how annoying SJWs and Star Wars are. Maybe I'll get to another image here, because I did prepare some images. You see, I was not subbed to World Class Bullshitters, but I did see the popular Star Wars video, Star Wars is Dead toy video. I thought it was interesting. But at the time I thought, maybe a little bit exaggerating. And I also watched lots of vids that discussed forcing SJW characters into Force Awakens. And I thought, at that time, they're exaggerating, overreacting. But the more I watched, I realized that it is an issue. And just to ignore the conversation and just label anti-SJW as racist and male chauvinist is completely wrong, and it's not really examining anything. The general public only views the term social justice warrior. They don't read more into it. That sounds nice. It's not nice. Let me see here. Get back to my place. Okay. And I thought they had a point. But when my awakening to this issue was when I was in the theaters on December 15th, 2018, in the middle of the movie, had a moment during the Canto Bite and the Leia and Holdo, and I literally in the theater said to myself, OMG, they were right. This is annoying. This is really, really annoying. This whole sequence, putting great characters on the back burner to have all these scenes where it's not important and it's at the expense to real characters. I started my channel to review Blu-rays, toys, collectibles, and talk about Blu-ray news. But this is therapy to me. To talk with you guys, and I later subbed to World Class Bullshitters because I like the way they covered SJW issues in a way that is fair, made sense. It's crass, but they're honest. And I realized what I thought about this issue, it's not. And it's a sarcastic term. They are not for anyone but themselves. So I will continue to be on that bandwagon and use terminology that I agree with, because I was convinced by World Class Vids, and I do want a coalition of channels to stop this nonsense. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional here because this is a tough topic to get all the way through, honestly, for me. But pandering to big Star Wars channels is lame, and it's not the way. You can't build something great if you start with something so disingenuous and hypocritical at the foundation. This is what happens with a lot of YouTubers. The bigger you get, the more you're concerned with others that think, and your opinion starts to be glossed over little by little by little. And I do want this to end, and I wish Jeremy and Alex the best, but you both need a reality check. And Star Wars does need to get better. Alex, your channel wouldn't be suffering if The Last Jedi wasn't bad. And I feel bad for fanboys that are in denial. And Jeremy, I would ask you to keep it real always and every time. Even when it's hardest, because that builds true character. And if you want change to happen, that's how you do it. Okay, now I'll get to the other images here. So, I do think this is the final episode because the creator of the series doesn't like making them. You wouldn't want to make another episode, would you, Alex? Hint! Alright, and I have a couple shout-outs here. This is from Geeks and Gamers on my initial video. Hey man, I don't know you, but I appreciate you calling out Star Wars Explained out on his BS. My video took off like a rocket today, but has since been age restricted and demonetized. And it's pretty much at a standstill on views. It's cool though, I knew it would happen. Anything I could do to push this video of yours, let me know. Thanks again for keeping it real. And that's how I came to this conclusion that I'm keeping the video 100% real, and it's 100% here. Crash or burn, take it as you will, whatever, this is it. And a long overdue shout out to World Class Bullshitters. And this is kind of overdue because it was on one of my videos where I use terminology that they kind of go with. And you know what? I'm not denying nothing. I'm subscribed. I watch the vids. If I agree with you, I'm going to go with it too. So this feels familiar on my Star Wars Critics and Lucasfilm Toxic video. So that's laying everything out there. Take it as you will. Whatever. It's going to stay up. Even if the engagement and the reaction to it is not well, it's staying. Here's what I want to say to you viewers, because it is an important time in Star Wars. Don't be silent now. Rant on, my friends. The way to make things better is to talk about it and leave it out all on the table. Rant on, my friends. And I did a little bit of a edit to my final screen on my videos. Seeing if I want to keep it this way. Keeping it real every time, even when it's hardest. And I say to you, you don't have to follow me anywhere. Following is creepy. Patreon stinks. TeePublic, I don't need a t-shirt for anything like that. And Movie Talk Cam Girls. I don't work for tips. I work for comments. And I want to talk about a hot topic. I'd love to hear what you think of this one. See you on the next hot topic.